Willie D. Live.
The embalming process.
Mm-hmm.
You know, using embalming fluid to preserve the body from deteriorating too fast. Who came up with that concept?
Oh, now you're going back to mortuary school. So if you really go back, I don't want to misquote, but my earliest memory in my notes is during the times of the Egyptians. So we look at embalming as the fluid that we use to preserve, right? The bodies were immersed into natural substances that preserve the body. That's why you see tombs with ancient mummies that were still preserved, right? Now, the original embalming, a great place to visit, and I can say this because I love this place and I'm neutral. There's a funeral museum on the north side of town, and it's connected to the school. And that funeral museum shows how embalming started in America, but it's from the same concepts of the earliest times that we know, that we still visit the American museums and we still visit different times of the year. You'll notice they'll have like a King Tut, or they'll have a display at the museum, and you'll go there and look at these mummies that have lived thousands of years. And it all started with the concept of preserving the deceased, because then tombs were purchased. Even in the time of Moses, when they were leaving Egypt and they were faced with the Red Sea, and now I'm talking about the Bible for those who don't understand that story, but they said, you brought us out here to die. Weren't there enough spaces in Egypt? They were worried about what? Burial property. That's how important having a place to be buried was. We've lost the space for that, but that still exists. We should still honor where we will be when our spirit is gone. So I believe that these are the type of conversations that evoke activity. My hope is that after someone hears this today, they will think and then act on what they should do so that their families don't have to wear the burden of the loss and the burning of the planning.
Yeah. When I was younger than I am now, we would often pass by funeral homes or cemeteries, and we'd be like, "Man, it sure is dead around here." And then somebody would look around and say, "Oh no, that's cold, that's cold, that's cold." To me, that's one of the longest and oldest jokes about, the dead,
right,
that I know of.
Right.
Do you have one? I mean, is it cool to have a joke? This cool
of course.
To joke about
we say
death?
We put the fun in funeral. That's
a good one. I never heard of that one. We put
do.
The fun in funeral. Wow.
We try to. Let me tell you why, though. Because you're already dealing with difficult times, right? You have to have time of laughter and joy. Mm-hmm. So we look for those opportunities. You'd be surprised how much fun we have. My team, we just went at Crawfish Sunday together as a team. We have gatherings. We go bowling together. We go putt-putt golfing together. We look for opportunities to celebrate and enjoy each other's company, because you spend more time with these people than you do with your own family sometimes. Mm-hmm. And then you have some people that move here and they don't, and just to come work with us because they're the one in their family, and there's no family here for them. We are their family. So I just believe putting the fun in funeral takes some of the morbidity out of it. So we do. We have fun. And we bring joy. And, even to our families. I've had families tell me, for this to be the most difficult time, you made it so much better or easier or lighter. I think that's a piece of it. It's making the experience that's already difficult a little less. By how we love on them and show them care and attention, the best possible care we can offer. Celebrate. We do life story tables where we put out a little something that even if you didn't know the person, you can walk by this display and learn something about them and how they lived. I did it for my father. He loved Jet magazines. We had some old Jets out. He had a record player. We put his record player out, Teddy Pendergrass album out. He loved the fact that he served his country. So we had out all of his medals. He loved gardening. So we put out actual plants from his garden that we potted in some of his pots and his tools, and we had those displayed. My dad was from Louisiana. He loved to cook. So we had his hot pots, and we had out his, all of his cookware and his apron that the kids made for him with his nickname on the front on a mannequin. Like, we made a full display to honor my dad. So when people came, they're like, what is this about? This is his life story. This is how he lived his life. This is what he enjoyed. This is what brought him joy. So when they walk in and see that, it's amazing. Because not only are they seeing their loved one, they're seeing the memories that they may not have talked about. The figurine that he kept by his bedside, we put it there, right? So when people see that, they know it's him. My dad traveled. He was in Germany, all over the world. So we put out some of his artifacts from his traveling days, So it makes it so much more memorable and personal.
Well, Kenita Lewis Harrison,
You
have made this episode memorable.
Well, thank you.
And amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
No more talk.